Hey guys. I'm excited too. Can you guys hear me, see me? And if you guys are on, let me know where you're tuning in from. Okay, cool. Ooh, Sweden, New York City. And happy Sunday, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing well. It's actually getting super warm in Paris. Like, I was just out today just to grab some brunch, and I was like, oh my God, it is so hot today. The weather has been super nice. Phoenix. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, Casey, hey, we were just chatting the other day. Ireland. Oh, today's a national holiday in Sweden. That's pretty cool. Okay, we got NYC in the house. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to NYC this summer. I finally booked my trip home in August, for August. So I'm finally going back to the US because I have not been able to go home because of the pandemic. I've been worried that I'd get stuck in the United States, so I haven't gone yet. Cool, cool, cool. So for those of you guys who are new to my channel, I'm Tiff. I'm an American living in Paris, here to help you navigate life abroad, navigate moving abroad, navigate life in Paris, all of that fun stuff. And oh, someone said they're moving to Paris soon from the south of France. Ooh, super cool. So I am super, super excited about this live stream and super excited to introduce the resource that I've created to help you find a job in France. Because I know that this is something that a lot of people are struggling with. It's something that I personally struggled with a lot as I was kind of going through my MBA program and knew that I wanted to stay and live in Paris, but wasn't sure like what job opportunities were here for me. I know the struggle can be real. So before I get into it, I want to ask you guys, so who that's on the live right now is looking for a job in France, and what do you think are the major areas that you struggle with when it comes to finding a job in France? I'd love to hear from you guys. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to let me know, again, if you're looking for a job in France and if you are, and what the things are that you're struggling with. And as I give you guys some time to think, I'm going to go through the list of, what a few of my followers have said. So about a week ago, I asked on Instagram, again, like, who's looking for a job? What are the things that you're struggling with? And I got a handful of questions, concerns. So as you guys are thinking, I'm going to read through this list. And if what I say on this list resonates with you, feel free to say it's me, like that's exactly what I'm struggling with. Or if you have any other things or anything additional to add, you can write that in the chat. So here we go. So the questions are coming in. All right. So these are the top questions that I got just from that Ask Me Anything. So someone says, is it possible to find a job in France if you're not completely fluent in French? And this is something that when I was graduating from my MBA, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? Because I'm not completely fluent in French. Another person asked, and I think I just saw this in the chat too, what are the best websites to search for a job in France? So that was another kind of top question that I got. Another person asks, as an American, will not knowing the language be a huge barrier? Oh, it's not frozen for me, but you guys feel free to let me know if the screen's frozen for you, but for me, it's fine. Another person asks, is it possible to get is it possible to get a job in France without having done your master's there? Because as I explained in, I think I said this in my the video I did about finding a job in France, that the French kind of, especially for some corporate roles, they kind of check to see what French business school that you went to. So that's a really good question. Okay, perfect, not frozen. So another question is, how do you even get a job in France? Like, where should we start? Which I feel you. You know, when you're moving to a foreign country, not even just France, it's like, okay, how do I even approach finding a job here? So I thought that that was a really good question too. And then another question I have is, do you absolutely have to speak French to get a job here? Someone asks, can I start applying for a job in France from my home country? Which I thought was a really good question. And then also, again, another person asks again, what are the best websites for foreigners to apply for jobs in France? So these were some of the top questions. And when I tell you guys, I got so many questions on that Ask Me Anything. There are so many people who are struggling to find a job in France. So also wanted to see what some of your questions are. So I'm just gonna go into the chat really quickly. For those of you guys who just jumped on, I've just asked for everyone to let me know if they are looking for a job in France, and if so, what are the top things that they're struggling with? Okay, so Samantha says, I do speak French, but I'm out of practice. I'm also worried about finding a job that's a good fit for my skills. Do foreigners have to be sponsored? I actually got that question a lot too, like visa requirements for foreigners. What websites do you use in Paris for finding jobs? Great question. I've been getting that's been asked a lot as well. Currently looking for a job here. I think the biggest thing is not knowing what types of visas you can work with. Really great question. And how to get a visa that allows you to work. Yes, I feel you. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, someone says, is there still time to buy my course? So if you're talking about the Find or Plan Your Move Abroad course, so that's separate from this, but the Find a Job resource, yes, there's still time for that. Hi, sending hugs. I've heard from some companies that they just want someone who's actually living here. All great questions, guys. What about the employer having to prove they could find, no one in France or no French? So that's a good question. I heard that that's more so a thing in the UK, but good question. So, sorry, I'm just seeing if there are any other things. Okay, so I feel you guys on all of these questions, and honestly, it's something that I personally struggled with a lot too here when I was first looking for a job in France after I got my MBA. And I'm going to get into my story a little bit later, but I was actually able to find an English-speaking role in France. I actually was able to do that. So this is why, just hearing all of your questions, all of your concerns, and just knowing how much I struggled with finding a job in France, this is why, guys, I am so excited to announce that I have partnered with MisterBilingue. So they are the #1 job recruitment site for expats in France. So I partnered with them to bring you guys the Get Over Your Ish and Find a Job in France Masterclass. So this is where you are going to gain the clarity and confidence that you need to take actionable steps towards finding a job in France, from preparing yourself for the job hunt to actually looking for a job to acing the interview. You know, this is where we're going to give you so much valuable information about how to find a job in France, and also answer all of these questions that you guys have. And I'm so excited that I'm partnering with MisterBilingue on this because, you know, I've been able to find a job in France, and I'm more than happy to share all of my experience with that. But MisterBilingue, they're actually, again, a job recruitment site in France that specializes in helping expats find a job in France. So they specialize in helping bilingual people, multilingual people, and people who are just native speakers of a specific language that's not French, you know, find a job in France, because they know the struggle is real. Again, I know the struggle is real. So I was so excited to be able to partner with them on this. So so yeah, so in this master class, you are definitely going to get, and I'm actually going to put the link here for you guys. So the link is also in the description of this video, this live stream. But I did want to share this with you guys on a live stream just because spots are limited for this masterclass. And it's not just because I want the spots to be limited. Actually, on the platform that I'm using, you can only host a limited number of attendees. So I definitely wanted to get the message out here for those of you guys who are interested so that you can grab a spot for the masterclass before the spots fill up. Because basically, once the spots fill up, that's it. You can't get in to watch us present it live. So I just wanted to make sure that I got on here and share this with you guys for any of you guys who are really interested in finding a job in France, aren't sure where to turn, what to do, what websites are out there. Like, this is everything that we're going to be covering in this course. So as an FYI, so for what's included in this masterclass, so it's going to be a 90-minute masterclass, and we're also going to leave 30 minutes at the end for a Q&A. So I wanted to make it 90 minutes long just because there is a lot of information that we're going to be covering. I'm going to, a little bit later in the live stream, I'm going to be going over exactly what we're going to be covering in the masterclass, so you guys can see if you think it's a great fit for you. But I really wanted to make sure that we had enough time to really go into detail on a lot of the really important questions that people have asked about finding a job in France, just so that you guys could get the full landscape, and I really just wanted to provide you guys with all of the tools, all the information that you would need to really set yourself up for success in this job hunt, especially if you are a foreigner, especially if you're not fluent in the language, because I know the struggle can be real. It also comes with the Find a Job in France workbook, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. And that's going to come with, resume templates, how to adapt your resume to meet French standards. It's also going to come with a cover letter template. And I'm also going to be giving you guys email templates. So like when you're pitching yourself to companies, I'm going to give you guys like an email template for that so that you know exactly what you should say and exactly how to show yourself off when you are sending the initial email to employers, because that's something that I worked so hard to fine tune when I was finding a job here. So I'm more than happy to share. Actually, I'm even more than happy to share the specific email that I used when I was pitching companies to secure a job here. So all of that is included in the masterclass. And then also, because I know that finding a job in France does not happen overnight, I'm also more than happy to give you guys the recording of the live stream so that you guys can refer back to it as often as you need to as you are looking for a job here, because, I know it's not easy. And, I kind of wish that I kind of had a blueprint to find a job in France when I first moved here. So I'm more than happy to provide that for you guys. So in the masterclass, I will be talking about, so me and Mr. Biling, a representative from there, will be giving you resume examples. And in the workbook that comes with the masterclass, I'll also be giving you a resume template for you to just fill in. Because I get it, guys, I know it can be really hard, how to craft your resume, what templates to use. So I'm more than happy to give you a template for that so that it just makes it really easy for you. Yeah. And before I get more into the masterclass, I really wanted to take the time to introduce to you Mr. Biling. So as I shared earlier, Mr. Biling, there will be a representative from Mr. Biling on the live stream, on the masterclass with me to host it and share with you all the knowledge. So again, Mr. Biling is the #1 job recruitment site for expats living in France who are looking for work. They help finding jobs for people who are native speakers of a specific language, who might not be completely fluent in French. They also specialize in finding jobs for bilingual candidates, multilingual candidates, all of that. And their goal is really to connect expats with, and sorry, I'm just looking at my notes right now, but their goal is really to connect expats with companies in France who are looking for native speakers of various languages. Because yes, of course, here in France, the native language is French, but there are so many global companies who need native speakers of different languages to help them with, marketing in specific countries. And for example, when I was working here, I worked out of the EMEA office of a luxury beauty company, and I was basically managing marketing or creative digital marketing for all of the countries under EMEA. So that was Europe, that was Middle East, that was Africa, South Africa, that was, Europe, Middle East, South Africa, India. And then not to mention, I was also the main point of contact for the global headquarters in New York City. So they kind of needed an English speaker in that role, someone who could, speak to all of these countries, someone who could also be the liaison with the global headquarters in New York City. Even when it came to marketing materials, it was a lot easier for me to edit, the English on certain marketing materials and make sure that it was correct than it might be for someone who isn't a native English speaker. So MisterBilingue really helps to connect companies with the native speakers, not just English, but of other languages too. They really help connect companies with these types of profiles. And not to mention that MisterBilingue also offers jobs across a handful of industries. And they also work with 300 plus companies in France. And I'm talking like all different companies. Hermes, Sephora, Makeup Forever are some of their top clients. And I'm so excited to partner with them on this because I do feel like in the position that they're in, with the amount of candidates that they've helped find jobs in France and expats find jobs in France, I thought that they'd be the perfect company to partner with to really give you guys insight on what it's really like to find a job in France across all different industries, because I can kind of only speak to my experience and what it's been like for me, which I also think will be very helpful for you. But I'm really excited to bring them on as kind of the expert on what it's like finding a job in France and how exactly to go about it. So you'll get expert advice in this masterclass from them and also from me. And then also just diving into a bit of my story and finding a job here. So for those of you guys who are new to my channel, I have been living in France for almost 4 years now, and I actually came originally to get my MBA. And after my MBA, and well, I won't say after my MBA because I was actually able to secure a job in France even before I graduated. But when I decided that, oh my gosh, okay, I want to stay in Paris. I want to work here. I want this international working experience. I was so scared. I was just kind of like, okay, I know I want to do this, but how can I actually make this happen? And yes, I think that, coming here and doing my MBA did actually set me up with a platform or not a platform, but just with, the valuable information to kind of set myself up for success in the job hunt. So of course I did kind of have a career, wouldn't call it a career counselor, but they did have a career director there that was kind of helping guide the students to finding a job in France. So I learned so much from just getting my MBA here about the job hunt in France, which I'm more than happy again to share with you guys in this masterclass. But there was so much that I struggled with, just trying to figure out like, okay, what are the jobs and companies that will actually hire me as someone who can speak French but isn't completely fluent? How should I even prepare myself? Like, finding a job in America is one thing when you kind of know the layout and the landscape, but finding a job in France, I was like, okay, is there a certain way to prepare my resume? Is there a certain way to prepare my cover letter? I also had no idea that there were even different work contracts in France, because in the States, usually it's one type of work contract, but here in France, there are two. Like, I had no idea. I also, like a lot of you guys have talked about, and I also I was just looking at the chat real quick, and also just like a lot of you guys have asked, I had no idea what the best job hunt websites were in France to actually look for a job. I had no idea. So that's why, now having gone through it and now also partnering with MisterBilingue as kind of the expert in this, I really want to give you guys all of this information just to make your experience finding a job in France a bit easier than how it was, you know, when I struggled with it. And I am going to let you guys know, you know, yes, we are going to be giving you all of the information that we have around finding a job in France in this masterclass, but it still is up to you guys to do the work to make it happen for you. And you know, finding a job in France, it's not easy. It really is not, especially if you're a foreigner. But I figured if we could at least give you guys all the information that we have in order to help you know, put you on the right path to finding a job in France, then yes, like we're more than happy to do that. And this is really what this masterclass is all about. And in case for any of you guys who just hopped on, in case you missed it, I'm going to send you guys right now in the chat. I just put the link for you guys to learn more about the masterclass. The link is also in the description of this live stream. And again, for any of you guys who jumped on, if any of you guys, sorry. Okay, for any of you guys who just jumped on, I was saying earlier that there is a limited number of spots available for this masterclass. Not my choice. It's just the platform can actually only accommodate a certain number of attendees. So spots are limited, and this is actually why I'm doing this live stream, just to let you guys know that, because I don't want you to miss out on this. If you are someone who is really looking for a job, make sure to get in before spots fill up. And if you're on my email list, I'll probably be sending email reminders like when spots are really starting to fill up as well, just so you guys are aware. But yeah, I really wanted to make this announcement for any of you guys who are really looking for a job in France and need the help, because this is exactly what this masterclass will do for you. And let me see. Someone was asking, I think, would you ever do a work day in your life video? And I actually have. So I actually did a day in my life as a millennial entrepreneur in Paris. So that's up on my channel. So you can definitely check that out. And okay, so now I want to go through like what the different topics are that will be covered in the masterclass, just so you guys know exactly what to expect. So we're breaking down the masterclass in, sorry guys, sometimes the chat distracts me. But anyway, so we've broken down the masterclass into 3 major buckets. So the first topic that we're going to cover is preparing for the job hunt. So we're going to be talking about admin steps that foreigners need to take in order to so we're going to be talking about admin steps for foreigners living abroad or looking for work abroad. So this covers, you know, visas. And I think a lot of people are asking, you know, what visas do you need to work on to be able to work in France and whatnot. So we're going to be covering all of that. And I do think that MisterBilingue has a lot of expertise in that department. I only know how it's worked for me. So I'm excited to have them on here to kind of talk about how they've worked with different candidates and the different visas that they've been on to kind of find a job here. So we'll be covering that. We're also going to be talking about the different type of work contracts in France. Because again, when I started my search here a few years ago, I had no idea that there were multiple work contracts that you could be hired on in France. We'll also be talking about, you know, which ones you should target as a foreigner looking for work here. And then we'll also be talking about, you know, what some of the better jobs and companies are to target if you are not completely fluent in French, which again, you guys know that was my struggle. That was my struggle when it came to finding a job here. I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, what are the types of jobs I should target? You know, what are the types of companies I should target? And I do think that MisterBilingue has a lot of kind of industry-specific, job-specific knowledge on what types of jobs you should kind of target if you are not completely fluent in the language. So I'm excited to have them on to bring their expert advice there. So if any of those things are something that you are struggling to figure out, definitely sign up for this masterclass because we will be going over all of that. And then the next bucket is actually navigating the job hunt. So here is where we're going to be sharing with you guys what are the best job hunting resources to find a job in France. So of course, MisterBilingue is one, so you guys can definitely check them out. They're the ones who I'm partnering with for this masterclass, but there are also a handful of other helpful websites, resources, and whatnot that can really help you with your I like cannot talk today, guys. But there are a lot of other resources that can help you with your search, your job search here in France. So we're more than happy to share with you all of the resources that we know about that could help you with your search here in France in this masterclass. And then also under navigating the job hunt, again, I'll be sharing with you guys the pitch email that I personally used to secure a job here, and how you can kind of sell yourself, in your pitch email to employers. I'll also be giving you a resume template. I'll also be giving you a cover letter template just to really help you with this process, because I know it can be hard, and it's actually something that I struggled with too, is how can I really sell myself to employers here in France? That was something that I really struggled with, just being an American here, being someone who wasn't completely fluent, and someone actually too, at the time, I was kind of doing a career transition. So I had previously worked in merchandising in San Francisco in fashion. Then I had worked in PR and kind of rose to a senior account executive. And when I was graduating from my MBA, I really wanted to work in digital marketing. And I was actually able to secure a job here as a creative and digital marketing manager here in France at a luxury beauty company, a global luxury beauty company at that, where I was handling, I think there were 17 markets under EMEA. It was a really, really exciting role, but I think it really was because I knew how to sell myself and sell my skill set. So I'll be sharing with you exactly how I did that in this masterclass. And then again, along with, what you need to say on your cover letter, what you should be saying on your resume and in the pitch email to really sell yourself. So all of that will be covered in this masterclass. And then after that, we're also going to be talking about acing the interview, right? Like, how do you successfully prepare for a job interview here? What are the different questions that they may ask? What is French interview etiquette? Should you talk about salary? Should you not? Should you negotiate? Because in America, it's one thing, but here it's totally different. And that's something that I found, one, through just going through the process and also just asking other people who found a job here. So more than happy to share my experience with that. And then, of course, MisterBilingue, having worked with, again, there are 300 plus companies in their database. They've worked with so many candidates and helped so many expats find a job here. They're coming with their expertise too about, what French interview etiquette is and what's okay to talk about and what's not okay to talk about on the interview. So in this masterclass, we'll be talking about all of that and more. So I'm, guys, like, I have chills as I'm like sharing this with you guys, just because I'm really so excited about how many people we can really help with this masterclass. And again, finding a job in France, it's not easy. So even when you take this masterclass, you still might, find some roadblocks or feel stuck. But I did just want to give you guys something to help give you the clarity and confidence you need to navigate the job hunt in a way that's right for you, and in a way where you can really sell yourself, and in a way where you can actually target the jobs that may be more willing to help you. Because I don't want you guys to spin, because I was really spinning when I was looking for a job here. So I know the struggle can be real. I know that finding a job here, again, it does take a lot of hustle. It does take a lot of patience. It can take a lot of time. So be patient with yourself in this journey. Even after you take the masterclass, please be patient with yourself. But I just figured if, I could help give you guys the clarity you need and the tools you need to help you find a job in France, then why not? And this is really what this masterclass is about. And for those of you guys who kind of jumped on a little bit later, the masterclass does come with a workbook that's fully equipped with a resume template, email pitch examples, cover letter examples, and also just some helpful tips and tricks that we are going to be covering in the masterclass. I'll also include that in the workbook as well. All of that is provided for you in this workbook too, so that you don't have to go through the whole masterclass again. If you, sorry, that like barking of the dog like distracted me, but just so that you don't have to like go through the entire masterclass again, you'll kind of have like a blueprint in this workbook. And again, if you do register for the masterclass, after it's over, you will also receive a link to download it, so that you can refer back to it as often as you need, or if you want to purchase the masterclass, but maybe the timing doesn't work for you. So just as an FYI, we are hosting the masterclass on June 23rd at 12 p.m. EST. So if you do want to purchase it and for whatever that day and time doesn't work for you, don't worry. After the masterclass, we are going to send out the recording to everyone so you can download it and watch it whenever you want at a time that's convenient for you. And also just for you to refer back to it as often as you need to, because again, finding a job in France, it doesn't happen overnight. I get that it's really difficult. So if you need to kind of refer to any points that we've mentioned in the masterclass, you will have the recording to be able to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna go through some of these questions really quickly. I was kind of trying to look as I was talking, but let's see. Someone said, I think someone asked, what is considered a good salary for someone with 5 years of experience in a software field? So I don't have experience in the software field, so this would be a really good question to ask on the masterclass to Mr. Biling, because again, they have so much knowledge on all the different industries and companies here. So I personally don't have that knowledge. I've worked in the luxury beauty industry here in marketing, so I come with that knowledge, but they would definitely be able to help answer a question like that. When you say expat, so that's a good question. So when you say expat in this context of finding jobs for expats, do you mean people who are already living in France specifically? That's a really good question. So one of the first points that we have in the masterclass is admin steps for people who want to come to France to work. So even if you're not an expat who's currently living here, I know that Mr. Biling has a lot of great insight on, if you are someone who is living in a different country and wanting to move to France, these are the types of visas that you need to be on. This is what you need to apply for. So yes, we will be covering what you kind of need to do if you are not currently living in France but want to find work here. Yes, the masterclass will be recorded. We will send you the link to download the recording afterwards so that you can watch it at a time that's convenient for you. That's a great question. So yes, I will save this live, and I already have the websites that I shared in the chat in the description of this video. So in the description, you will be able to find the link to the masterclass for you guys to learn more and reserve your spot, and also the link to Mr. Biling, who is so Representative Emily from Mr. Biling is also hosting the masterclass with me. So you'll also find a link to them as well. Oh, they answered the question for me. Yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, I really wanted to bring you guys something that someone said kudos on making the class very affordable. Yeah, like I really wanted to bring you guys something that could just help you with this job hunt, and also just share, like literally, this is just like a dump of everything that I've learned having to look for a job in France. Mr. Biling again comes with very helpful tools, tricks, resources, and insight on what it's been like for other expats finding a job in France and what you need to be doing. So yeah, I really just wanted to bring you guys something that could help you with this process. Someone said, will the masterclass be available to purchase after the actual presentation? That's a really good question. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do about that. I think it really depends on the need. So I'll get back to you on that. I think for what we're doing right now is first things first is to host the masterclass. And then from there, we'll let you know whether or not it will be offered to everyone afterwards. I think it really just depends. I need to check with the platform on how all of that is. The only thing that I know for right now is that we are able to accommodate a very specific limited number of people. So if you can get in, so that we can present it to you live, great. If not, I will let you know. But again, we are definitely going to be giving you the recording if you sign up and for whatever reason can't attend on that day. But yeah, that's a really good question, and I'll have to get back to you on that. Oh, you're so welcome, guys. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit more. So yeah, any other questions you guys have about finding a job in France, about the masterclass? Because also what I think I'm going to do is any of like the burning questions that you guys have, I'm going to make sure that we chat about in the masterclass as well. But again, keep in mind that so the masterclass is 90 minutes, but I've actually added on 30 minutes to the end for you guys to ask questions to me, to Mr. Biling, because I really did just want to make sure that you guys were able to get your questions answered. Because yes, we're going to be covering everything and anything we can in this masterclass, but if there are very specific questions that you have in regards to your specific situation when it comes to finding a job in France, this is the perfect opportunity to ask me and also ask an expert who specializes in finding jobs for expats in France. So we are leaving. So I guess all in all, it's going to be about 2 hours all in all. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to be able to do this. No, I don't think you need to create an account with Mr. Biling before the masterclass starts. It's really up to you. It's not a prerequisite. Someone says, what if you don't know an ounce of French? So yeah, that's something we're going to be covering in the masterclass for sure. Ooh, that's a good question. Will there be a conversation about work culture, such as biases in France, skill set, experience level, age, work style, communication style? Very good question. So I'm definitely able to speak on what that has been for me working in France, and I'll make a note of that right now because I'm sure that's something Mr. Biling will have a lot of insight on. Because yeah, I'm more than happy to speak on what that experience has been for me. And actually, I have I have a video on my YouTube channel about what it was like finding a job in France. So you guys can definitely check that out. And I actually talk about the work culture, the people, what it was like just being an American working here. So I do talk a little bit about that in that video. Good question. So the masterclass, it's not for a specific level, I would say. You're more than welcome to ask questions in regards to your specific level, whether you're a new graduate, whether you're someone who is looking for a career transition, whether you are someone who has 10 years of experience is looking to move. It's kind of good for, I would say, everyone at any level, because I do think that when you're a foreigner here, some of the admin steps and just some of the things that you need to know when it comes to working in France as a foreigner are kind of the same. But feel free to ask like specific questions to your specific level in the masterclass if we, for some reason, haven't covered this. But I personally, the way that we built it, I do think that it covers a lot of information for people regardless of what level they are. So that is a really good question. So yeah, so who's excited to find a job in France? I know it's not easy, guys. So I really just wanted to give something to at least help you a bit with this process so that you're not just kind of applying to all of these jobs and not really knowing if it's the right thing for you. I kind of just wanted to help you streamline your search, if that makes sense. And yeah, and I really do hope that, and you guys will have to let me know how everything goes for you after taking this class too. Yeah, I know Casey already signed up. I'm so excited to have you in the masterclass. Cannot wait to share all of my knowledge with you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thanks, Darlene. So any other questions, guys? This isn't going to be like an hour-long live stream. I'm probably going to hop off in a few minutes. Yeah, you're so welcome. So again, for any of you guys who joined a little bit later, so I just announced that I along with MisterBilingue, so the #1 recruitment site for finding a job for expats in France, we have partnered to bring you guys the Get Over Your Ish and Find a Job in France Masterclass. Again, this is aimed at giving you the clarity and confidence you need to take steps towards finding a job in France, from navigating the job hunt to acing the interview. We're really just here to bring you all of the knowledge and information that we have on finding a job in France when you are an expat here. And again, it's a 90-minute masterclass that also comes with a 30-minute live Q&A, so 2 hours altogether. It also comes with the Find a Job in France workbook that's fully equipped with resume template, email pitch template. It also comes with resume, email pitch, cover letter template. You'll also, when you sign up after the masterclass, I'll also be sending you guys a recording of it so that you guys can refer back to it as often as you need to. Because again, I know that finding a job does not happen overnight in France or anywhere else. So if you need kind of helpful tips to refer to, you'll definitely have that in the recording. And then again, the topics that we're covering are preparing for the job hunt, admin steps, visas that you need to be on, the different work contracts, best jobs and companies to target, especially if you aren't fluent in French. Then navigating the job hunt. So we'll be going over the best job hunting resources and websites, how to craft your cover letter, so your CV, how to craft your cover letter, how to craft your resume, your CV, all of that fun stuff. And then also acing the interview. So, French interview etiquette, maybe what questions should be asked, what you should talk about, what you shouldn't be talking about, all of that will be covered in the masterclass. And again, we are, what was I going to say? And again, we are really here to just cover all of your burning questions about finding a job in France. We know it's not easy. And if we can help you out a bit just with the knowledge that we have, we are more than happy to. I wouldn't say it's geared towards a specific age group. I don't think it's geared towards a specific age group. Again, it's really just to give you guys a platform and helpful information and tips to help you on your job search, regardless kind of where you are in life, in career. So that's what I can say about that. But with that said, I will say it's definitely targeted towards, that's actually a good question, because now that I think about it, like, I would say probably someone who is, I don't know, maybe 23 and up, I would say is probably, if I had to say an age group, that would probably be it. Like it's definitely maybe not for the person who is coming here looking for the very first job that they've ever had in life, I guess you could say. Not yet. So right now, this is the only masterclass that I'm doing with them. Because they are, again, specialized in finding a job in France. So that's why I kind of wanted to partner with them on this one, which is geared towards finding a job in France. So right now, this is the only one that I'm doing with them at the moment. But TBD, I'll let you guys know. So yeah, guys, I'm going to put the link to the masterclass in the chat one more time again, just in case you missed it. But I am so excited to help all of you guys who sign up. I'm so excited to connect with you guys. And I'm also so excited for you guys to get expert advice from MisterBilingue. This is honestly something that I wish I had when I was starting my job hunt in France. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to have all of this information to help you on your job hunt in France. Again, the link is in the chat. I've also put the link in the description of this YouTube video. And yeah, if you guys are looking for a job in France, if you guys are struggling, if you guys just have no idea where to turn, where to start, if you're looking for the right resources, this masterclass is definitely for you. I really do think it will help you out. Again, I'm going to say it one more time, and I keep pressing this because, again, spots are limited. I just would hate for any of you guys who really need the help to miss out on this. So if you are interested, please sign up. If you want to be able to get your questions answered live, please sign up. Because yeah, I really do think that this is something that could help you out. And I just don't want you to miss out on it if it's something that you really want to do. So that's really all for me, guys. Just wanted to finally announce this resource to you guys and, just give you guys a platform and expert advice if you guys are looking for a job in France. So that's it for me. I hope that you guys are enjoying your Sunday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.